Sure. We go. Okay. Does anyone want to go first?
I can go first. We are in practicum 2,
Yes.
Yeah.
so
You're right.
doing the right one this time.
That's
So
the best.
last time I hadn't like written down my progress monitoring plan when we met, but essentially my student is already in my reading class and I progress monitor them with dibbles approximately once a week. It's not exactly once a week, but I'll do the maze one week and then ORF the week after. So just because of weather and sickness, I've only progress monitored twice since we started. I've done it once with the maze and once with oral reading fluency. Um, so a little bit ambitious to do it once a week, but because of, everything that happens with school, but that's what I've done so far. And for I don't have the data in front of me because I left that at school in my rush to get out of there. But the I know that she's improved on her oral reading fluency a little bit, and with her maze, I forgot what I was going to say, so I won't finish that sentence. Yeah, so informally, she's improved her oral reading fluency. I don't remember off the top of my head with maze, but I'm going to continue doing that for the rest of the progress monitoring, unless you guys have any suggestions.
I think as long as she's made progress, that's the main thing. It'd be different if you weren't seeing progress, then I'd be like, no, you need to change it up. But
Yeah.
do we give fives again? Is that what, or like numbers? Is that what we,
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
so yeah,
this
the
is
5.
numbers.
okay.
Yeah. Good.
Yep.
Thanks.
Sounds good.
And for comprehension, I've been working on her with comprehension monitoring because just teaching her like, hey, it's okay to reread something if you lose it, and figuring out what we're not getting. And something really interesting is that the first couple times we did that, if she remembered the paragraph, she would like regurgitate stuff word for word instead of saying it in her own words. So we've been working on paraphrasing because of that. So that's kind of just an informal thing that I noticed is, you know, comprehension isn't just like memorizing what it says, it's actually understanding it. So yeah, that's all I got.
Would you guys care if I go next?
Mm-mm.
I think my toddler might start screaming to go to bed soon. And so I want to do it before he's screaming in the background because he just is a mama's boy. So he doesn't love when dad puts him to bed.
No.
Um, he's fine, but yeah. So I have been tracking mostly my students' writing for progress monitoring. He's gotten better at writing, and which ties into the words we're writing in our lessons too. So like today we had to review DGE, TCH, and ED just because in my previous lesson, I don't know if you guys watched my video yet, but in that video I was like, what happened? Because we had this and it was gone, the lesson that I was recording to show you guys. So we reviewed that today because I was like, obviously we need to take a step back because it was going too fast for you. So we reviewed it today and he did wonderfully. He was able to write all those words and write dictated sentences with those words. He finally has spacing and like punctuation down, like where it goes. So I'm hoping to push him to like do like a story with the beginning, middle, and end writing wise, just because writing's a huge struggle for him. And reading wise, I am seeing progress. I gave him the past this today, but it was really tricky for him still. He did get further. He got to like the mid kindergarten level in the past instead of like he didn't even get past the first section in the past the first time. So he's making progress. It's slow, but it's better than nothing. And I guess my plan for hopefully upping his pass score is on my day one of my lesson, I'm going to start including the Haggerty book and just going through Haggerty every single day one with him to like really hone in and practice those skills more. So yeah, just try to get him that way. And overall, otherwise he's doing really well. Yeah.
Before I give you a rating, how old is he again?
He is in 4th grade. He is 9, going to be 10 in 4 days.
Okay. So I don't know if this is this might be something that you ask. Oh my gosh. This might be something that you ask our
Dr. Riley.
professor. Yeah, sorry.
You're good.
Uh,
2 answers.
brain fog, you know. This might be something that you ask her instead, but what, especially with older kids, I think the research on phonemic awareness is really phonemic awareness with letters and not just phonemic awareness via listening. So I think from what I heard is Haggerty's really, really good for younger kids, but doing stuff like those word chains, which is a form of phonemic awareness, might improve his phonemic awareness skills a little bit more than just Haggerty. So finding something that you can do with letters might
And
be
we build the words every time with magnetic letters, and then we do write them too. Because I'm like,
Okay.
you can't just build them like you're in 4th grade, you know how to write, so we need to write
Right.
them too. So we do that. I guess the one part he's struggling with in phonemic awareness is like, what was it? So he got past breaking apart compound words like he did the first time, which good. But then when he got to the part where it was like, say, I don't have exact words, but like say crest without the k,
Right.
and he'd say est instead of rest.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know if I put Haggerty in and then like give him manipulatives to push the sounds and then say, or maybe he builds it with the letters and I say crest without the k, and he takes and see it instead of before I like expect him to fully just do it.
Yeah, having that like scaffold is really good.
Yeah, which his mom said when he did tutoring, he did benefit from types of phonemic awareness, but that was like 2 years ago. That was like 2nd grade. So yeah, just I don't know. And I appreciate your input because I don't know. I'm really good at the younger kiddos. I've done 1st grade for 5 years. So 4th grade is really new to
Are you using UFly with him?
Yep.
Even like going back and finding other word chains. If it sounds like right now you're working on phoneme deletion.
Yeah.
That he's struggling, even going back in some of the lessons and finding word chains that are specific to blends that have a lot of words with blends in them, because
Yep.
they go through some of those. That might even, if you're looking to target that would be something that you could do in addition to what you're already doing. So
Right. Yeah. So should I skip adding Haggerty or is it a good to do with the manipulatives and then also focus on word chains?
Haggerty might have they might have the blends in there. You might just have to look for it. It might
Yep.
not be in the sequence that you are in, but you might have to just flip to the right section. But I'm
Yep.
pretty sure it has it. Otherwise, the 1 minute Kilpatrick drills has that, if you have that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that something I can download if I don't?
No, you'd have to have the book. The test you can download, but you'd have to have the book.
Oh, did we buy that one?
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I mean,
I
it looks
think
like
so.
there's,
It's
Yeah.
the, oh,
I think I have that.
yeah.
Okay.
but they'd be in the back of that with all the blends.
Got it.
But
And not
Got it.
trying to like crap on Haggerty at all, just
Oh.
that as far as I'm aware, the research is more strongly supports phonemic awareness with letters. And so you can make
Well, I
that
suppose when they're older and they still lack it, they haven't
right.
been able to hear it. So
Right.
that makes
So
sense.
just like not, doing Haggerty maybe 2 minutes or something and then moving on.
Okay.
Because it probably help, but not be your biggest
The
part.
main component. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. I take because like I said, fourth grade is new. I'm used to the littles, so I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm loving this because I had the same problem with mine, thinking of him, and then like everything you're saying, I'm like, oh wait, I can do that now
I
instead of
know, I'm
this.
like, I need to, I'm glad this is recorded so I can
I know,
read
me too.
them. But thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
yeah, well, I think that's a great job. Sounds like he's doing well.
Agreed.
I agree to you.
All right, Tara, you or me, who wants to go?
Doesn't matter. I can go.
Okay.
Okay. So you all got to see my Jacob with reading the words upside down on the Haggerty book that I did not realize he was doing. I was like, that's stinker. So he has been an eye-opener just tutoring him. And I will say that a lot of the plans that I had made originally when I was going to start out has not progressed as far as I thought, just the pace wise, because I just getting him to focus and participate, and he'll do what he wants, but then he has to tell me a story, and I try to wind him in on that stories, but if I don't let it tell him, then he's just going to keep obsessing about it. So I have to kind of allow him to do that some. I had the whole plans with reading comprehension, and Dr. Riley talked to me about that, about really focusing on which part of Scarborough's rope that I needed to focus on for his reading comprehension. So we kind of narrowed it down to the verbal reasoning, because he can't infer, he doesn't understand really what's going on at all. And vocabulary, and making sure he understands those vocabulary words. So during my comprehension part, when I'm doing the decodable and focus, I'm almost, and I've got to talk to her about it, but I had put in my plan to use the UFly decodables, and we're doing that, and he's still having a hard time with that, but I'm not sure if I'm almost like, should I use one of my curriculum books where it has a little bit more meat in it than the decodables, because I know he can read it. It's just a matter of him understanding it. So that's one of the questions I have to ask her about, because the decodables, he can whiz through them. He just doesn't understand them. But I think maybe if I get some stories that have more interest and different things that he can maybe latch onto and understand, it might go a little better for him. I had my proposed plan for progress monitoring was to do the GORT. I gave most of it, but I didn't, and he's not progressed hardly at all with that. And then the writing part, I was going to do the writing cards with that, but I have not given that yet, because we have been struggling so much to get just through the reading and the comprehension part, that I have not even got to work a lot with him in writing. So I am trying to find ways. Like I was doing Haggerty, and then I was like, okay, I backed off on it because he seemed to be picking up on that the more we went along. So then I was just using the phonemic awareness part, like the real quick one that UFI had, and using that, and then going through the sounds, because he knows the sounds, but multiple sound meaning. There are multiple, like E set, is double E, E-A, E-Y. He takes him a little bit, but he'll pick up on those. But in spelling, he always reverts to mommy E. So I'm trying to get him to start using those. So it's been a struggle, I will say, to try to move him along. And I can see why he is at the level he's at, because he's going to be an incremental pacer and not a huge jumper, I guess, when he's doing his progress. So we're just going to keep plugging along, and I'm just hoping something helps that now, that because this is going to be his pretty much last year of having school before he transitions into the work part of his schooling. So I want to try to get as much as I can, as far as we can, with the time that we have. So I don't know. It's definitely a different thing than teaching first grade and trying to learn how to learn how to do it all for the older kids. So do you have any questions or insights or anything? Because I was watching everybody love the comments, because I always like hearing what people have to say and ways to help on the videos, because I'm like, I can't get better if somebody doesn't critique or tell me if I'm doing something or need to fix something. So
And I will say it was hard on all of your videos I had to kind of be really nitpicky in all of your videos to be like, this is a grow. But
Same.
I know.
I was like, I have to give 2, so it's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
But my only question would be, does he have a specific genre that he likes to read?
So he loves Scooby-Doo. So I'm trying to find Scooby-Doo books. I've like been on hunt for those, but they're really, they don't make them that much anymore. So I've been trying to find ones. Like I went to the thrift store over the weekend trying to find Scooby-Doo books that he can read, but that's like his obsession. So if I can find ones, then I know he would, he'd like to read those, but I can't, they're so hard to find.
Right. I was just thinking, like, what you were probably thinking too, comprehension wise, if he's more intrigued by it, like, because even my first graders would be like, what does that even mean in the decodables sometimes? Because there's not a ton of detail like a typical
Yeah.
story would have. So yeah, if it's something that he's really intrigued by, maybe it would help. But yeah, it would be hard to find those.
I've discovered I just inherited a bunch of books from the previous reading teacher and probably the one before that. And I was flipping through, I had a bunch of Goosebumps books, and they're all pretty decodable as far as what I was looking for. Like we were kind of working on like the vowel teams and stuff, and I wasn't reading the whole thing, but I was just skimming, and it was like, oh, we've pretty much covered all of these patterns that are in these books. So that's, if Goosebumps is something that you have access to, that might be another thing that you could get him on, especially if he likes the mystery and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely try. Because I know we have those. I know I have some of those. So yeah, I will definitely try it, because all he'll tell me if he doesn't like it. So he'll tell me. So, but it's worth a try, because it's just finding what he likes. And I think if I can find something that he likes, he'll gravitate towards it and we'll do better with it.
Does he have a certain reading level that he's on, or you think he's at?
Well, so his school told them that he was on a 6th grade reading level, but I do not believe he's on a 6th. He can read like a 6th grader, but he can't comprehend like a 6th grader. I would, based on the data that I've collected, I would say he's 1st grade as far as comprehension. Because even doing those decodables, like I was drawing pictures, we were doing steps, just trying to get him to be able to remember what happened at the beginning. And middle and end. And I'm like, my first graders are working on that at this point. So he's very low as far as understanding what he's reading.
Have you considered doing any other, like since you're trying to focus with him on verbal reasoning and especially inferencing, have you considered doing any non-text inferencing or
Yeah.
like written text? There are, and I'm since I have a secondary background, I have a lot of stuff for this. There's some good activities where you make inferences from pictures, and you have to like write down observations and then answer questions about it. And then there's stuff like watching Pixar shorts and making inferences about what's happening in the Pixar shorts. And so if you're wanting, you know, he needs to be able to make inferences when reading, but some of the non-print inferencing can help the verb, like just those skills.
Oh, that's awesome. I never heard of that. So that's, I like
There's
that.
one book that came to mind too when you said that, Gatlin, was the book Chalk. It's called Chalk. It has no words in it, but it's all on you predicting and wondering what's going to happen next. And they just use the pictures and you talk through it, and you could put some writing in there, like she said, and just what do you think will happen with kind of the pictures that are illustrated in the book. But yeah, that might
Oh,
be
okay.
something different if he's, especially if those stories are maybe, like you said, too easy for him to read, but he does not getting it. But to help him with just pictures and even like day-to-day things that he might need. Like I know originally you said something that in the workplace, like when this
Yes.
situation happens at work, what do you think would happen? Or giving him pictures like, oh, somebody dropped their purse, something like that. Like, let's infer what happened or what could happen, or I don't know. That just came to mind that that he could have situations and infer that way. So without words.
No, that's awesome. Cause I was thinking strictly reading a book, not,
Right.
wasn't thinking outside the box of different ways that he could do that. So no, that's awesome. Cause
And that
I
honest,
think I have chalk and I have a snowman one. I think that
Yeah.
there's no words on it. It's all pictures. So I can use those too.
Yeah.
and honestly, that might help him if he's in the last stage before he's going to the work portion. That may be more beneficial to like thinking of situations, and not that you don't want him to comprehend while reading, but if he's able to comprehend social situations
Mm-hmm.
and like apply those proper, like that's how you keep a job. That's how you like build relationships with your coworkers and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's great. I love this feedback. Thank you.
I think it's good.
Yeah, he was a hoot. I was cracking up.
Yeah, he was really funny.
Oh, yeah.
You can tell he likes you though. Like yeah,
Yeah. He grew up around me, so he's a family
comfortable.
friend thing. And so his Grammy is one of my friends and like just different things. So I'm like, I was hoping with the connection that he would do more with me than he would with other people too. So
Which he probably will. It
Yeah.
doesn't always show right away though.
yeah,
He probably just wants to sit and chit chat and talk about
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo though.
he does. He's funny.
I love it.
Oh, yeah, he was cracking me up. All right. Okay, well, I'll jump in. So, with my little student, with her progress monitoring, and this is what I did with practicum 1, instead of like going back and doing word lists from the Acadians or Dibbles, what I did is after we finished the lesson, then I'd go back each week and make sure she could read the word list. So I just kept data that way. So we've already done, Greek words. So we're going to keep going back each week, make sure she can read the list of words that we did that week. We've done chur at the end, shen and jun, silent E units. And then this week we're working on consonant LE. Um, so that's kind of the data that I'm keeping, just to make sure what I've taught her, she's remembering and applying it. So it's not just random words I haven't taught. So we're doing that, and she's doing better than when we first started. Just she's more successful. I'm also doing like a word fluency data. I just have a list of 25 words, again with the target scale that we're working on, and timer to see how long it takes her to read those 25 words. So, and she's doing really well in that. She's gone from like 3 minutes and 37 seconds on 25 words to now she's at 1 minute and 22 seconds on those same words. So we're doing that to work on some fluency and reading those words quickly. I'm also applying spelling again with those target words that we're working on. Just we did it initially when I first taught the lesson, then I'll go back each week and make sure she can spell some of those words using those rules. And then the oral reading fluency, again, instead of going back to doing the doubles like each month or each week, I just am doing one passage that I picked out, and then we're doing it each time we meet, or not each time we meet, but like probably once a week, to see if her fluency can, she can get better at her fluency, so, and accuracy. And then we're doing sight word data as well, just spelling some sight words. And then I'm doing some comprehension stuff because I noticed when I did the assessments early, originally she did not do well on that, the comprehension questions. Is it the GORT that we gave? I don't remember. That you give them those 5 questions. I was like, ooh, she is not getting this. So when I give her a passage from the rules that we're working on, I just kind of come up with my own questions, because in the Barton program there's no comprehension questions, so I'll just make the questions beforehand, and then I'm just recording her data on that. And she's kind of hit or miss. She's like 80% one week, 100, then a 40. So it just depends kind of where she's at, if she's paying attention to the story. So that's little Elena. So any questions about her or what we're doing?
Did you say you're using the same passage every week for fluency, or a different one?
It's the same one for now until we kind of build it up. So yeah, we're using the same one, and then once we do it a few times, then we'll get a new one. So
okay. I would be concerned that it would be a I would be concerned that if you're looking for like true fluency increases, that since it wouldn't be a cold read every time, you might be looking at, it looks like she's improving, but she's just getting extra practice with the same passage. So I don't know. I think that's a good way to practice. I don't know if it's a good way.
the repeated readings are
Later.
recommended for that fluency. So
Yeah,
we'll do that, the repeated readings, and then we'll get a
Great.
new one. So
okay,
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Then 5.
All right. Anything else we need to talk about or discuss?
Mm-mm.
No, but I think I hopefully will stay in first grade for a long time. You guys have a lot to more to do in older grades.
Yeah. A lot more comprehension, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I like first grade too. I'm like, I'm good where I'm at.
Yeah.
I don't mind working with my 4th grader. He's awesome, but it's out of my comfort zone a little bit.
I could never do what you guys are doing, but I'm for practicum 1, I'm tutoring a 2nd grader, and she's made like so many gains in just, I don't know, like a month and a half. And her mom and I text about it all the time. And her mom texted me tonight. I almost started crying because she was like, she read a book on her own. She wasn't looking at the pictures. She didn't do it because I asked her to. She just picked up a book on her own and started reading it. I was like, oh my gosh.
At
So,
that age, their brains are just so much more like ready to absorb.
yeah. The progress is so much slower with the older kids. So it's hard. It's really easy to be discouraged. That's for
Yep.
sure.
And I think that's where like Terry, like you're like, he isn't making progress yet. And I'm like, I think he will. But
Yeah.
the older kids are just, it takes longer because their brains just, they have learned it the wrong way how many times, or
Mhm.
they've been doing it the wrong way. So they have to unlearn that. And then whereas our firsties and littles are pretty brand new to it all. So
Yeah, that's what I have to keep telling myself is my kids are unlearning things and learning things. So it's triple the work,
yep,
if not more. So
Yes,
for sure.
absolutely.
I even see that with my fourth grader. I'm like, yep, I can tell that this has been ingrained in you, so we need to break this down. So
Yeah.
I can only imagine once they're 12th graders.
well, thanks for meeting you guys.
Yeah.
Terry, I'm gonna send you an email with some of those inferencing with pictures stuff.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.